Introducing Terence Bud Crawford, the super middleweight champion of the world, presentando a Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
Oh, comes forward, and Bud Crawford was hurt. And the ruling that is
Terence coming in, or when he's waiting, he landed that shot right on the chin. He hurt Terence bad.
5'8", but he fights as a longer fighter. And Crawford's landing 30%. He had a 19-10.
He'll have to cut off the ring. He takes the left hand and then comes in and shoved around.
Oh, nearly floored him there on the bell of the...
After watching this clip, one thing is clear. The real fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford could be far more dangerous than anyone ever expected. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford are finally set to collide in a showdown that could reshape the landscape of boxing history. But this isn't just another super fight. This is the fight. On one side, you have Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican legend. A staggering 63 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. A 4-division world champion. An undefeated monster at 168 pounds. On the other, Terence Crawford, the undefeated technician from Omaha, Nebraska. A perfect 41-0 record. A masterful switch hitter who dominates from both stances. A generational talent. Now, Crawford is making a bold leap, not just one, but 2 weight classes up, from 154 all the way to 168, to challenge Canelo for the undisputed super middleweight crown. At this level, it's almost unheard of. This is one of the most dangerous moves we've seen in modern boxing. Crawford, who spent most of his career punishing fighters at 147 pounds, is now gunning for the king of a much heavier division. The stakes? Astronomical. The payday? Reportedly $150 million for Canelo alone. And the risk? Everything. This isn't just about belts. It's about legacy. It's about proving who is truly the best fighter of this era. For both men, it could be the most defining moment, or the final chapter, of their storied careers. But as the hype builds, the cracks in this mega fight are already starting to show. Let's talk reality. Crawford is chasing history, but is walking a dangerous path. Just last year, he moved up from 147 to face Israel Madrimov at 154. The result? Total domination. A new WBA title added to his collection. But that was just one division up. This is different. Now, he's jumping 2 full divisions to face a fighter who has made a living dismantling larger men. Canelo has fought as high as light heavyweight at 175 pounds. And at 168, he's a beast. A wrecking machine. He's beaten Gennady Golovkin, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, and Callum Smith. None of them could outbox him or outslug him at this weight. Most recently, in May, Canelo handled the undefeated Cuban William Skull with ease, adding yet another name to his hit list. And now, Crawford wants to be next. With that win, Canelo cemented his place as a 2-time undisputed champion at super middleweight. He's never lost in this division, and to this day, no one's even come close. For Terence Crawford, this isn't just a fight, it's a leap of faith. At 37 years old, he's taking the ultimate risk. Critics argue he's putting everything on the line. His undefeated record, his pound-for-pound supremacy, and even his long-term health. All for one shot at immortality. But just as the fighters were preparing for war, a different kind of battle began, behind the scenes. The contract was signed. The date was locked in. The press was buzzing. Everything looked set. Then suddenly, the headlines changed. Whispers became questions. Questions turned to shock. Insiders leaked a bombshell. Canelo was demanding $150 million guaranteed, just to step into the ring. To put that into perspective, that's one of the largest purses in boxing history, on par with Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Yes, the fight is massive, but many insiders believe that number wasn't just bold, it was strategic. Some say it was a classic move. Price himself out of a fight he didn't really want. Because here's the truth, Crawford's speed, footwork, and ring IQ are a serious threat. And while Canelo is still elite, even his own promoter Eddie Hearn admitted he's shown signs of slowing down, especially in that sluggish win over William Skull. Others see it differently. To them, this is just Canelo doing what he always does, maximizing his value. He's the A-side. He's the global icon. And if this is potentially his final bout, he's going to cash in, no questions asked. But not everyone's buying that narrative. Former heavyweight champ Shannon Briggs didn't hold back. Crawford's going to stop him. I'm telling you, stoppage. Knockout. And Briggs isn't alone. Across social media, fight forums, and boxing circles, fans began to wonder, is Canelo scared of this fight, or just making a business move? What should have been a celebration of greatness has now turned into a heated debate. A legacy-defining battle clouded by doubt, dollars, and drama. Motives, money, legacy, and then, another problem. Even the venue couldn't stay stable for a fight of this magnitude. Las Vegas seemed like a no-brainer. The lights, the legacy, the money. It's the fight capital of the world. So when Canelo vs. Crawford was first announced for September 12th at Allegiant Stadium, just off the Vegas Strip, fans were ecstatic. It felt like the perfect stage for a legacy-defining war. But in classic boxing fashion, nothing stayed simple. First came the date change. The fight was quietly moved from Friday the 12th to Saturday the 13th. A shift that may sound minor, until you realize what it disrupted. That one-day change clashed with other major events already scheduled at Allegiant Stadium, sending organizers into a scramble. Within days, the venue went from confirmed to uncertain. Then the real chaos began. With Vegas suddenly in flux, two heavyweight contenders, New York and Los Angeles, jumped into the ring, hoping to steal the show. Would it be Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing, or Crypto.com Arena in LA, where stars collide under Hollywood lights? Meanwhile, behind the scenes, a new player loomed large: Saudi Arabia. Rumors swirled that the kickoff press conference was being moved to Riyadh, a city quickly becoming the new capital of global boxing. Canelo's already fought there. The Saudis want more. And just as the location drama was spiraling out of control, Canelo stepped in. In a surprise interview, he told reporters, the fight will happen in Las Vegas. But here's the twist. He never said where in Las Vegas. With multiple venues still under consideration, even that reassurance felt shaky. 4 fans, whiplash. 4 promoters, chaos. 4 fighters, a massive distraction from what really matters: preparation. But while venues shifted and dates shuffled, an even more serious question began to circulate inside boxing's inner circle. What's going on with Canelo Alvarez? At first glance, he seems like the same monster he's always been. Calm, lethal, almost impossible to outthink in the ring. But insiders are whispering, something's different now. Something feels off. Not everyone is convinced Canelo still has what it takes. Evenktime ally and promoter Eddie Hearn, who sat ringside during Canelo's last bout, wasn't impressed. Canelo's opponent that night, William Skull, was undefeated, but relatively unknown. Canelo won the fight and added another belt to his collection. But it wasn't the dominant, explosive performance fans have come to expect. Instead, it raised eyebrows. Promoter Eddie Hearn said what many were thinking but few dared say out loud: Canelo looked slow. His footwork? Sluggish. His ability to cut off the ring? Fading. His legendary timing? Off. And here's where things get even more interesting. Terence Crawford was sitting right next to Hearn during that fight. I was watching the Skull fight, Hearn later revealed in a podcast. And I turned to Bud and said, "You'll beat him. Not you might. Not it'll be close. Just, you'll beat him." Coming from a promoter who's long had a vested interest in Canelo's star power, that wasn't a throwaway line. That was a warning shot. Hearn went further, saying Canelo, now 34 years old, may not be slowing down because of complacency, but because of time. Nearly 2 decades at the elite level. That kind of grind leaves scars. Endless training camps. Constant pressure to perform. The weight of staying at the top. It all adds up. Hearn even suggested this fight might be Canelo's last, especially if Crawford pulls off the unthinkable. And suddenly, a new theory began to echo through the sport. Is Canelo preparing to walk away? Could it be that Canelo would rather retire than risk a loss to a smaller man? It's a talking point that's gaining serious traction in gyms, podcasts, and boxing forums alike. And if you listen closely, what you'll hear isn't just doubt, it's fear. Because while Canelo may be aging, Crawford looks sharper than ever. Despite being 3 years older, he fights like a man in his prime. His footwork, his reflexes, his timing, still razor sharp. For the first time in Canelo's career, he might not be the faster man in the ring. And that changes everything. This isn't just a title defense for Canelo, it could be a career-defining loss. One that rewrites his legacy. And for Crawford, this isn't just about history, it's about seizing the moment and possibly finishing a legend. On paper, it's a dream matchup. A super fight fans will talk about for generations, if it happens. But behind the glitzy posters and pay-per-view hype, a darker question is surfacing. Is this fight even real? Was this ever truly destined for the ring? Or is it just another chess move, orchestrated by Team Canelo to protect the brand while appearing to chase greatness? Across barbershops, forums, and YouTube channels, the theories are flying. Some believe this entire build-up was smoke and mirrors, a marketing masterstroke, a way to generate buzz, without ever stepping between the ropes. Was this fight always about glory, or just a $150 million mirage? That's the question now haunting fans, insiders, and fighters alike. Some say the headlines were strategic, a well-timed distraction to boost Canelo's negotiating leverage and shift attention away from a fading performance against William Skull. The timing couldn't have been more convenient. 1 minute, the criticism was mounting. The next, he's headlining the biggest fight in boxing. But others see it differently. They believe this isn't about Canelo, it's Crawford's desperate leap into greatness. A bold, almost reckless move from a man who's chasing legacy, not comfort. He's hunting the lion in his own den, doing what no other fighter has dared to do. Crawford's fans have seen this before. They remember how the boxing world underestimated him before he dismantled Errol Spence. Just like they did when he cleaned out 140 and became undisputed. But if he wins this, it's not just another belt. It's history. He would become the first fighter ever to win undisputed titles in 3 different weight classes. And only the third man to ever beat Canelo Alvarez. And yet, with rumors swirling, $150 million price tags, venue chaos, Canelo's own trainer hinting at retirement, one question refuses to die. Will this fight actually happen? And if it does, will it be the war fans are dreaming of, or a carefully managed exit plan? Boxing has burnt fans before. Super fights that fizzled. Legends that waited too long. Promises that vanished the moment money got in the way. This time might be different. But it has to be, because there may not be another chance. Both men are closer to the end than the beginning. There's no room for rematches, excuses, or do-overs. This isn't just a title fight. It's a collision of eras, styles, and legacies. If Crawford wins, he doesn't just beat Canelo. He becomes the undisputed king of boxing, no questions asked. A smaller man stepping into a lion's weight class and walking out with every crown on his head. If Canelo wins, he silences every critic. He proves that he's still elite, still the face of the sport. That even as Father Time knocks, he still answers the call. But this is bigger than belts. It's about ego, reputation, and pride. The kind that doesn't fade after the lights go out and the gloves are hung up. And for fans, there's one lingering hope. That, for once, boxing gets it right. That the fight is real, the outcome honest, and the story unforgettable. Because this fight, if it happens, won't just determine who's the best fighter in the world. It may define how both of these men are remembered, forever. So now we ask you, is this about legacy, or just legacy-level money? Will Crawford shock the world again? Or will Canelo remind everyone why he's the face of modern boxing? Let us know in the comments. Who walks away with the crown, the glory, and the legacy? This isn't just a fight. This is a war for history. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like this video and subscribe to Boxing is Here for more fight analysis, behind-the-scenes drama, and expert breakdowns. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay sharp, fight fans.